good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Cap. And in today's video, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk about and show some perfect examples of Black mothers because don't get me wrong, there are so many Black single mothers out there who are not only toxic, but who are proud to be toxic. On that note, here are the clips. Let me adjust the volume.
Daughters alone at the ages of 7 and 10 for any period of time, much less for 3 days to travel to Miami. I have a difficult time leaving my dogs alone for an extended period of time. You allege that you flew to Miami at the last minute to accompany a friend who was having elective cosmetic surgery, liposuction, and you also stated you were paid to do so. This explanation strains credulity, and I suspect there is more to this story and why you chose to fly to Miami for 3 days in February. As a parent to 3 daughters, I could not imagine leaving my daughters alone at the ages of 7 and 10 for any period of time.
Now, this lady, who is not a bad looking sister by a long shot, happened to leave 3 of her kids, 2 who happen to have special needs alone while taking a trip to Florida. And this is a prime example of how not only, and after judging from her facial expression, she showed no pity, no remorse from doing so. This is also a perfect example, everyone, of how some women are better off without having kids at all. And I don't know if it's just me, but does it seems like sometimes some of the main women who will make some of the best mothers sometimes are the main ones who have such a hard time conceiving kids. Whereas on the other hand, some of the main women who make some of the worst mothers are some of the main ones who are the most fertile. I never could be able to understand that to save my life. Anyhow, here's a few more clips where this is more so a picture. Now, if you pay close attention to the picture on the left, much less the right, especially the one on the left, this happens to be a mother, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's a single mother as well, who you could easily tell is toxic because look how she's dressed all inappropriate at one of her son's football games. And I wouldn't be surprised if there would be several times when she would be up to her son's schools only to get hit on by multiple men at the school, if not the principal. The school principal usually some male teachers, the very few male teachers there are, if not one of the male teachers, maybe either one of the custodians. I could go on and on due to how this here lady is another perfect example of a toxic mother. This is one of those ladies who some of us fellas could be able to identify with as a mother who we may have called after coming home from school, walking home from school and coming back home in the bedroom with a strange random man doing all kinds of sexual things with those types of men, not realizing how it may have had a traumatic effect on the future, may affect us traumatically after encountering those kinds of ordeals. And I could also give you some more examples of some famous people's, some celebrities who happen to grow up with toxic mothers. P. Diddy, if you look at the making of a bad boy, P. Diddy, it was said by one of his childhood friends how it was no surprise when his mother, Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy's mother, to see Diddy's mother have all kinds of gatherings at her home, and gatherings where she would be around pimps, usually drug dealers, usually scammers, lesbians, guys who happen to be also homosexual as well. People being seen in the bed while encountering, engaging in all kinds of sexual acts while at her house. People engaging in all kinds of drug use as well, alcohol, excessive alcohol use. I could also name Tommy, if some of you may know about Tommy Davidson, may have followed the show in Living Color from back in the early 90s, early mid 90s. The actor and comedian Tommy Davidson, believe it or not, mother happened to abandon him while at a crack house. Happened to throw him, if I'm not mistaken, inside of a trash can, only for him to be found by a white family and taken into adoption by a white family. Also, I could say another celebrity, I can say quite a bit of us know about Richard Pryor, especially you're 40 years or older. Well, for some of you who never knew this, he grew up in a brothel, whereas he was exposed to seeing all kinds of drug use in the brothel that he grew up in as a child, where he was exposed to seeing people engaging in all kinds of sexual acts, all kinds of orgies I could imagine as well. And to make matters even worse, his father happened to be his mother's, well, his his father was his mother's pimp. On top of that, I can also name Lil Scrappy, who grew up in the same kind of scenario, whereas he grew up for the most part during his childhood in a whorehouse as well. I mean, there are some piece of crap mothers out there. DMX is another one who, due to his mother's toxic nature, she happened to abandon him. He had to end up living in foster home after foster home. R. Kelly is another example of someone who had a toxic mother growing up, who mother hardly had a close relationship with him, which explains why he ended up in being like he happened to be in being accused of so many foul sexual acts, because it's been said during one of the Survivor R. Kelly documentaries of how his mother was a prostitute. I mean, it's sad how so many black boys have to grow up with such toxic mothers, to the point where nowadays it's kind of hard to find a mother who carries herself in such a modest way, and such a who has such good morals. Thank goodness I grew up with a mother who was into the Lord and who kept me on the wrong track while growing up as a kid. Anyways, and pardon me for interrupting this about this here post, and this is on behalf of Instagram, because I wanted to read some of the comments about this. Someone's posted for one of the comments, you couldn't take a normal photo when your son, you just had to turn around and show, I'm assuming, ass, her, which they crossed out. So here's some other comments. It's the photo about your ass, which was crossed out again on his game. So here's the mother commenting back. Me supporting my son with my custom shirt with his name on it is what the photo is about. I can't help that I was born naturally thick, and I damn sure ain't hiding it. What's weird is that's what you noticed in this photo and took your time to comment F-U-C-K out of here. I mean, of course, what person can't help but to notice you dressed in a photo at one of your son's football games with your back turned and deliberately to show off your backside. I mean, that you are a toxic piece of crap mother, period, point blank. And someone else said, you couldn't take I already read that about you couldn't take a normal photo with your son coming. Okay, so she replied back by saying, the mother, yes, I had to turn around and show my son's name on the back of my shirt. Yeah, right. You showed more than your son's name, all right. And supporting him. I can't help I was born with ass. If it was flat, you bitches, and excuse my language, wouldn't be saying nothing by in all caps off my page. Let me show you one more post. And this is on behalf of Instagram. Now, if you pay close attention to this, because I'm about to show you the actual picture of the mother on the second page holding her newborn baby. Look at the caption. Man calls out a mother for trying to show off her, I'm assuming, buttocks and pictures with her newborn baby. And this same man commented, can't even face forward in a picture with her baby. LOL. Now, this is exactly what he was referring to. What mother poses like this on social media when a newborn? Nothing but a toxic mother, which is another example of how, like I said earlier, there are some women, so many women who don't deserve kids. And in most cases, they're always the women who are the most fertile, yet and most toxic, who could always be able to bear kids. But in some instances, some women who will make such excellent mothers, where mothers who would be more cater, who, how could I say it, who would just show more motherly love towards their kids, who won't be usually out on social media dressed all skimpy, much less out in public. Sometimes those are the same types of women who would give anything to have kids, but they may have complications, whereas they could never ever bear kids. Instead, they may usually have to put have kids from the through the foster care system, or usually take kids up for adoption. I mean, it's just sad how there are so many women out there, mothers that is, especially who are toxic mothers, show no shame in it, are proud to be toxic mothers. So, with that being said, and like always, make sure you like, share, comment, last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, have a good one.